It's fun. It's wild. It's Dad's Gone Crypto.
Welcome everybody to Dad's Gone Crypto. Another week, another episode. And have you ever wondered that you've come up with a great idea? You're busy building in the space as a crypto dad. You're slugging away. You've spent thousands of hours, creating what you think is a problem-solving solution that you want to get out to the world. But you've created in your mind the best product around. But how do you get it out to the world? All right. It's not just I create and they will come. It's never like that. You can hold a piece of gold and sell it for $1, right? And if you tell nobody, you're not going to sell that piece of gold, right? So it's important to get experts in the industry. And today we have Israel Biton. Did we get that surname correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, please. All right. It's Israel Biton for Web3M Marketing, who's going to spend some time with us we can be asking him some questions about the crypto marketing side of things and how to take your product or project or service into the world and to that next level. Welcome, Israel, to Dad's Gone Crypto.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. And actually, it's a great pleasure talking with you guys and talking to the Dad's Gone Crypto community, which I really love, only for your agenda, nothing else. Like being a fresh dad. I can really
welcome to the club.
Thank you. I feel like I have a lot to go, being a dad. So you
haven't got the wrinkles yet. So
I'm more of a crypto degen than a baby's degen at this moment. So I'll try to provide value about crypto, and I'll leave the that thing experience for you guys.
Oh, excellent. Maybe we could help you out with the some of the dad advice, and you help us out with the marketing advice. How's that?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Jeez, for a minute there, I thought, Ryan, you're going to say help him out with a baby maker. Like, what?
I don't think any of our wives would appreciate that. So.
Check the hate mail. We got like 2,000 comments, and it's just our wives.
Wow. Already got value.
I love you, baby. So Israel, tell us, you're a freshly new dad, and how did you get into crypto, and what excites you about this field?
Okay, so I've been into crypto myself for, I think, since 2000, either 15 or beginning of 2016. So pretty early. I had the luck of having a good friend, which is, super geeky and super, searching for good opportunities online. He's the best hacker and, like computer science, cybersecurity person that I know. And he's my childhood friend as well. So he got me into crypto. At that time, it sounded like, a total gambling thing online, but I said
money.
I'm sure like everyone here is I assume share the same thing, for at least for the beginning of crypto, where it was even less regulated than it is today, and where even didn't start regulating anything. But anyway, I started back then mining Bitcoin with my very basic, I would say, equipment. Got excited, things kind of grew since then. I had the luck to be early in the space. But, long story short, taking it to around 2019 or 2020 even, things started to kind of go viral in a way. Mm-hmm. And we had a company, we share a company, me and this friend, his name is Adir, by the way. And so we share a company together as well. He's my co-founder, my partner in this journey. And since then, we started a business. At the beginning, it was all about influencer marketing. We tried to create the first influencer marketing index. So go ahead, like for companies to learn about what it is. 4 or 5 years back, you didn't know what influencer marketing is, right? It wasn't a market yet. So you would pay someone with followers to wear this necklace of yours, or to talk about this something that you published or selling. But basically, that was my journey. After a few years on the influencer marketing business, we pivoted like many startups do, and we decided to go into crypto. Since then, we've been building a few tools with Web3M, which is a marketing tech company, by the way. Our goal, our agenda is to build solutions to handle data, to handle personalization in Web3, thanks to the whole things going on in the world right now, the kind of slow elimination of cookies by 2024. For everyone here who don't know, cookies are, those entities or codes that collects data about everyone. And they're going to be eliminated by the end of next year. So we need to have another solution of personalizing the experience for people online. I hope I'm not too technical for everyone.
No.
And like personalizing the experience for everyone. And our other aspect in Web3M is building tools for marketing. So one of our tools that recently got published is called on-chain targeting. We basically allow companies to find and target their Web3 users on chain by wallet holdings and activities, and then advertise to them off chain with ad channels like Twitter ads, Google ads, the normal ones that we know and use. And so, kind of bridging the gap between finding them or having the ability to advertise inside Web3 directly to the customer.
Okay. So, yeah, that's interesting. I actually didn't even know that. So cookies are going away completely, huh? And,
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. So are you working fully in the crypto space then? You don't do marketing outside of crypto? You're
At the moment,
Web3M?
we are working fully in Web3. So we used to help Web2 businesses bridge into Web3, which is, I think, one of the biggest niches for marketing in Web3, because, if you put it on scale, there are a lot more Web2 businesses, especially in bull market and maybe last bull market with the whole NFTs and how to kind of gamify or kind of represent my brand inside of crypto, blockchain, NFTs. So we used to help companies kind of bridge into Web3, whether if it's like events in the metaverse, creating a collection around NFT and your brand, any types of live events and kind of technology building and stuff like that. Also for marketing, of course. But we've seen a decrease, of course, with the bear market. So recently we've been doing only Web3 clients and companies.
Okay. Yeah. So, I was, I really delved into your website a lot and was trying to learn a lot about you, before this. And one thing on your website, it stands out. It says that it right from your website, it says you guys are a decentralized multi-channel ad network that allows advertisers to promote their projects across the crypto sphere, basically. So can you explain how that works? Like how does decentralized marketing work?
Yeah. So on our website, we have an advantage and a disadvantage on the website. The advantage being us doing a lot of stuff, and really having arms everywhere, marketing and data and stuff like that. The disadvantage is most of the times people get lost in the website, and I do need to explain things. So I'll try my best to simplify what I'm going to say. So as we build solutions for advertising, one of the things, or I would say our long-term agenda and vision, is building what we call data network in Web3 on the blockchain. What I mean by data network, which connects to the elimination of cookies, by the way, is on the blockchain, we need some way or ways to still know or identify the entities, the people inside crypto. As we know, wallets are the main ID or representation that we have on the blockchain. But think about it, the disadvantage in having cookies disappearing or having, let's say, the giant tech companies having those tools to identify us and personalize, it's not only bad, although I'm on the side that prefer cookies to be gone, but the personalization we get on social media, right, on websites, whether if it's like e-commerce and services and products that we want to buy, the content that we consume on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and every other social media, those are going to be gone in a way. And so we do need other things, other ways to communicate, to identify, to personalize the experience, to have advertising happening and data exchange happening in differently. Now, the biggest problem in the market is that with being the product, right, and who makes the money, don't need to say the names, but the massive tech giants sell ads, get paid
Yeah.
from advertisers advertising to us, and
Right.
we don't get paid, right? So basically, Web3M is building towards a vision, towards an internet, a new internet, where you as the user will get paid for seeing ads, for getting your experience personalized, for every scenario where there's another side wanting your data to provide something to you, right?
Right.
And so imagine a world, I'll try to visualize it as much as I can. Imagine a world where Web3M is kind of the blockchain of data in the middle, transparently, no one knows about us, right? And so you as a user, you browse the internet, you do the same thing you do today. We collect data, of course, about the how we can talk, during the call or later, because it's pretty, it's going very deep with the technology and, the method. But simply put, we collect data the same way that the internet collects data about users today, right? But then we make sure where, like, whenever someone buys your data, for example, I love Nike myself, so whenever Nike would like to show me some advertisements, or the next time I'm going into TikTok and there are no cookies, so there's no personalization, but I do want personalized content, so TikTok would like to know who am I and what I like to personalize the experience, they will pay for my data. They will pay to the blockchain. This is the decentralized part, the blockchain of Web3M.
Mm-hmm.
And I will get paid automatically with no permission needed, with no one on the other side needing to pay me, I don't know, like a payroll or something, directly whenever someone pays for my data. So having this, we're talking data ownership, reimagined, practically, built. We're talking about personalization made available without cookies, which is something that most people still don't have an idea or can't process, right? So it's very, very far away idea still, right? But this is what we're building. So that's the vision behind being a decentralized advertising solution. The ad network part is related to something else that we've been building. So having the ad network, which is the whole ecosystem of showing ads, placing ads for on top of publisher websites, and having advertisers. I'll try to not go into all details at once. Yeah.
Israel, but tell me, how does your technology differ from, say, a Brave browser? So Brave browser also like they have a security protocol. I click on there, what I want to see. I want to see beer and fishing rods and crypto. And then they would go out and find those customers, and then they would take a piece of the pie, and we would get a small, tiny percentage of their token, right? Very small.
Let me start
so
with
how does
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. How does it differ?
So let me start with the juiciest piece of information on how is it different. The size of the reward. So I use Brave browser for almost 2 years. It has nothing to do with the rewards, by the way. I thought it would be more secured, right? For my wallet being, the wallet extension on the browser and all that. I came to realize, also had the knowledge from my good friend. He told me there's no difference. Like I don't want to drop any any misleading information. So I will leave it as my own opinion. I don't think there is any difference. But in terms of compensation, rewards for the users for using the browser are going to be higher with our ecosystem. There are a few different aspects in the technology, which I'm not going to dive into because I cannot. It's not my job to do the technology on our data network. I leave it to the amazing team that we have on that side. But I can say that I think marketing will look different for what we're building. It's not only for Brave. I mean, it's not as different for the user. Like you use something, you get rewarded for that, right? And so for us, the use cases would be endless. So not only browser, but anything you do online. I'm talking about browsing any website, that's already integrated into ecosystem, of course. Like any website, any social media, any browsers, of course, all of them. So having much more broader use case or much more potential, right, to make money as well. And regardless of that, the control that the user is going to have is almost absolute. So let me say something about that. Imagine you have a dashboard, fast forward 1 year, 2 years, right? You'll have a dashboard where you can come and collect your rewards over your data collected. And you can also do another thing, which is also important. You can choose not to be rewarded and not to be tracked. So kind of detach, as we call it, detach your information and having it go away, fade away into the endless blockchain space, right? So again, it's permissionless. You don't need the permission of anyone, not Web3M, not any of the tech giants, of course, and know anyone. So you have full control. You can choose to monetize your data. You can choose to stay unknown, right? And kind of this is the difference as I see it.
So kind of switching gears slightly a little bit instead of on the tech stuff, but as far as the marketing goes, how do you approach marketing strategies differently, targeting the crypto specific audience rather than, more general audience that's unfamiliar with blockchain or cryptocurrencies?
Yeah. So one thing, I want to start with one similarity and then I'll go to the uniqueness in Web3. So between Web2, if we can call it that, to Web3, the concept of understanding the user, the concept of building something valuable stays the same. That sounds obvious for most people, but still, a lot of people don't practice what they preach, right? And so you basically need to think, how can I get my idea in front of the people to test the value? So everyone knows the term proof of concept, like doing a POC. And what I would start in terms of marketing strategy for Web3 is still understanding the concept. Okay, I have a good idea, right? I'm going to build from NFT collection to a layer one infrastructure, or maybe a DeFi suite, or anything that I build on or off the blockchain. I still need to validate the value that I provide to the user. Now, it's important for me to communicate this because I meet with a lot of companies daily. Today, I met with 5 companies before this podcast that we're doing right now. Tomorrow, I have 8 calls with companies, everyone in the space, everyone in Web3. And unfortunately, I have to say, a big portion of those companies that I meet try and build something. And when I ask them, what's unique about your solution? Why is your DeFi suite built on Algorand? Why is your NFT that's trying to, I don't know, go around the art is unique? What is the value? Short term, long term. Now, the value of monetizing is very nice. I myself enjoyed monetizing crypto for a long time, still am. But on the long term, I think we have an infrastructure that's different, right? So the infrastructure here, the tools that exist in blockchain are great to build disruptive technologies, to build disruptive solutions, but the end user doesn't care about the technical stuff. He cares about good experience. He wants this next Spotify, right? That would reward him for listening, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe reward only the artist side. He wants this next social media, which will ask him about collecting his data or not, or help him monetize, right? We want better experiences. I just finished a space with 4 companies from the play to earn space from crypto gaming. And the main question was, how are we going to attract adoption? So to your question, marketing, how are we going to get our crypto game outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
And so the main agenda, the main thing that came up from this conversation, and brilliant people building some great games, great solutions, right? Great technology behind the game. The agenda is that we have to have those platforms, because with generative AI, with all those mass adoption, like mass created games, a lot of games, a lot of, supply, let's call it. And you want to be highlighted, you want to kind of be unique still. And so we're going to see a lot of ways for companies, for games to kind of stand out and have their technology and experience. So let me go practical for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So for marketing in Web3, what's different? We talked about the similarity of the point of view as a marketer, as a building a company, right? Someone
Mm-hmm.
who builds a company. You still need to think about the value. You still need to highlight much more of your messaging rather than your technology, right? Benefits over features. I'm sure some of you, also the listeners, know about what I'm talking about. Like, so when I sell something, I never talk about the feature. I always talk about the benefit, the end benefit, which can be confusing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just let me throw in the air a few things that are different for Web3 marketing. First of all, is growing together as a community. So we had a lack for the agenda of building communities, having this distance between the seller and the buyer, let's call them that, kind of being vogue and disappearing slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the ability to build and communicate with our communities like never before. So one of the biggest tools is understanding how to incentivize your community to become your advocates, right? So number one, make sure that if you have 20 people in the community, or you have 20,000 or 20, like 200,000, right? You know how to make them your advocates. Now, today we have some tools for it. Like, even we normalized this idea even more with platforms like Quest platforms. If you know about Quest
Mm-hmm.
platforms, is one of the biggest trends in 2023. And so platforms like Zili, Quest N, Galaxy, and similar ones are making it kind of like a gamified experience to be interacting with a company. So this is one of the things I would most definitely do as a Web3 company. What I would do is I would put a lot of my efforts on partnerships. So interacting with other communities around, okay, I have like an incentive for my community people. Another communities and companies have their incentives. Let's do, a collaboration. Let's collaborate. That's on the basic level. We hear a lot this word collaboration, but the idea behind it is pretty solid. It works, even if it's like the most simplified and funny way of having contests between communities, having token giveaways and contests, whitelist spots being given, all the way to more meaningful stuff like integrating you into my product, integrating between tech. But anyway, having this community, this is the power of a company. So partnerships, platform for client onboarding and gamification and engagement with the brand like Quests. And of course, I cannot testify because this is something that we build, but having the ability to reach out directly to blockchain users like never before. So this is kind of the upgrade, the next level of digital marketing, or kind of paid media, if you will. Having that ability as a channel, but with the let's say superpowers of targeting blockchain users, targeting people who are in the space.
All right, so Israel, tell me, first step is building the community, right? So a couple of questions inside that narrative. Is it important in the crypto space to first build a community, leverage that community by making them advocates through rewarding? Or can you get away from building a community just yet and get them to use your product and then build the community? Is it the chicken before the egg before the chicken? And is there space for both, or is there a definitive roadmap in, basically launching your project successfully?
That's a great question. So let me say something. I hope everyone will forgive me after that. But having building a community before launching the product, from what I can see, there's only one reason to do so, and it's funding for building whatever your vision is, right? So there is no, I don't know of a lot of projects that been building a community, let's say launching the token, kind of the normal, the usual roadmap that we see. Launching a token, like having this speculative, value that they are encouraging their community to invest in, and then building the product is needed only when you need the funding that you don't have to build the product. Now, if you have the ability, whether if it's like, I don't know, VC funding, funding from your savings, no need of funding because your product is kicking ass. Sorry for that. Is kicking ass even without funding. Then you don't necessarily need to build a community before you have something solid, right? So this is what I see. So it's not always the case, by the way. Sometimes you want the community because your product is all around this community, kind of providing the value for them and not needing to build something technological all the time, right, to serve them. But this is what I see. That's my point of view. You only need to build a community before you have a product when you need the fundings to, to build the technology, to have marketing power, marketing funds, and all that. That's what I think.
What are some key elements in okay, so let's go into rewarding, right? Let's say I'm building a community and we're incentivizing them with rewards, but it's not necessarily what you give is what they want, right? So what you think is, well, I'm getting people in, I've got prizes for them, I've got cash for them, I've got this, but it's not necessarily building that community as fast as you want. So is there a strategy in building, in incentivizing the right way your community?
I think that's the hardest effort or the hardest focus in every marketing strategy in Web3. So the reason why platforms like Zilli, or let's label them as Quest platforms, which is like the engagement platforms that reward people by engaging with the brand, from following the social all the way to retweet, all the way to more meaningful use our product, trade with our decks and stuff. I think the strategy here with all those 2023 strategies in Quest is to narrow down as you go. So first attracting the broader audience, the ones who understand incentives, understands rewards, understand that they will they actively are going to do something and get reward over your community and offer. But then further down the road, as they're engaging, they learn, even if they weren't intentionally going to learn about you but only wanting to make money. They're going to learn about what you do, and then the magic happens. It's either they will drop because there are better alternatives, always better alternatives for making more money, or they will stick with you because they also believe in the project, believe in what you're building, believe not only in your solution. Some people believe and stay but won't be users. For example, I know I recently got introduced to a state X, which is a great solution if you ask me. Like frictionalizing, I think it's the word, like kind of making it available to invest in real estate across the world, buying portions, right, of the property with crypto and much more of that. But that's only the simplified explanation. A lot of the people there believes that this idea can be adapted, massively adapted, right? Not necessarily that they will buy real estate. I encourage them to, because that's great, but they believe that the token worth something because people are going to buy and sell real estate all the time. So the project has a good vision. I want to stay in. I want to be even as an investor, it's like kind of putting my money on stocks, but kind of the Web3 version of it. So I would say that the Web3 agenda around 2023, at least for the marketing part, was to nurture the broader audience and then filter them as you go naturally, you know. But it is a big effort to kind of find the right people. For that, you have different solutions as well. So again, that's also right for influencers and KOLs, right? So with influencers, you start broad, and then the 1 to 5% of right people will stick because you're talking about something they care about.
Right. So expanding on that, so when let's say you're launching a crypto project, right? Or an NFT project or anything, what are the key factors that project creators should focus on with their marketing strategy if they, to have a successful launch?
I have to say something that, of course, I'm answering your question, but there is something. Let me take a step back from what should I do in marketing to what should I do as a founder.
Sure.
Right, building something, because this is the secret that no one tells you as a beginner entrepreneur. I faced it, had the pleasure to waste a lot of money from my own pocket and the company's pocket, before knowing something worth something. So the thing is, what's the shortest way from starting to getting actual feedback from real people outside? What is the shortest way possible from me building something? By the way, I'm being careful with the building something part, because you can build for 2 years, spend $2 million on development and some marketing, and then discover that it's worth nothing, right? And so for that problem, this is the number one problem for any company, Web 2, Web 3, Web 4, 5, 10, okay? You have to find the shortest line between where you're at right now with your beautiful idea, which worth nothing as an idea. Mm-hmm. This is something that the first CEO of Netflix always say. He says, your idea worth nothing. It's probably a bad idea. It's a matter of how you're going to, execute and test, get the feedback, So my first and only tip, even before dedicating marketing budget, is to find the way to get feedback on whether your idea is good. And it's never black or white. So it's always either it worth nothing and you need to change it, or it worth something, but you need to change certain aspects in it, right?
Right.
And so the shortest you put in this line, or kind of drew this line between you and this feedback and changing, it's called feedback loop in like the professional sense. So the better your chances to survive.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I know, but unfortunately,
but nobody does it, right? It makes total sense, but yeah,
most of us don't practice what we preach. That's the problem in life. That's what everyone keep on saying, but most of us don't get it. So I hope even one person will get it from us talking about it right now.
But it is hard. It is hard because if you're building something, you got this emotional investment. You've already gone and put in hundreds, if not thousands of hours. Now some sad sod that you're asking for an opinion gives you not the opinion that you want to hear. And now you got to sit there and think, oh, shit. You mean
no, but you're right. But think about it this way. So let me give you two scenarios, and then it would make sense probably to everyone. So I have a good idea, right? I want to build a phone, I don't know, that it's round instead of square. I don't know.
Rectangle.
Yeah. That's my idea. It's going to sell, billions.
Right.
And so I'm scenario one, I'm going ahead and finding the best team. I don't know. I just go ahead and kidnap one of Samsung's and Apple's best developers and, UI UX designers, putting in the team, paying $1 million for 3 months of making the first piece, kind of the prototype piece, right? And then I'm going to market the product, right? No one going to buy. Unfortunately, it was a bad idea, and I discovered it after I paid vast amount of money and time, and a lot of bad stuff in the way. Or I have a good idea, and I do build a presentation, generated AI presentation to kind of visualize the thing with all its features, why the round corners are better when in packet. I don't know. And then conduct a survey, putting it out for paying, I don't know, like focus groups that provide feedbacks on this kind of stuff, send it to all of my friends and their friends, having a university kind of collaboration, testing it. There are a lot of ways to test it. I just mentioned a few ideas out of my head, but you have a lot of ways to test your product before it's built, right? So you need to have something. It's not like those days where you could come with an idea, pitch it, and get $5 million from a VC. But it's also not the other way around. You don't need to invest or waste $5 million on building and then discover your idea worth nothing, or at least worth 2% out of 100.
Right. That makes
And
a whole lot
so
of sense.
that's the only thing I would focus as a beginner entrepreneur. Of course, later on, once I got this, check mark, marketing speaking, now I know my product fits someone. Now, who is this someone that it fits? When they need this product that I invented, what on a timeline, in what phase in their life cycle do they need it? Why do they need it? What better alternatives are out there, and how am I unique? Not always better. Most of the times I won't be the best in market, just so you know. But I don't need to be. I just need to be existing, solving a problem for a portion of the people. The bigger the portion, the bigger I'm going to be a monopoly eventually. But even if not, I know of companies that makes very nice, revenue, serving 1, 2, 3% of their market.
Right.
So this would be my kind of fundamentals when thinking about marketing.
Right. So does a project come to Web3M before or after that? Can you guys help get them on that straight line, or is it they've figured it out and now they come to you because now they know they have
most
something?
of the times, most of it, it's again, we have like 0 to 100, 0 being I have an idea, help me out. This didn't happen yet, so always companies always come with something built at least. Sometimes we see a project with only a community and idea, which is the kind of the equivalent in Web3 to what I just described. We do get this, and luckily, I love those kind of projects because luckily I get to tell them what I just told you, and maybe save them time, save them efforts, save them misery sometimes, on understanding very early that you need to do 1, 2, 3 steps, actions to validate your project worth something, right? And having someone else that did something like what you're trying to do doesn't validate that you're the right person or right team or right idea to execute on that. Other projects which are more cooked, more mature, that come to Web3M after launching a project, like a game or a DeFi or a protocol or anything, web, NFT project, anything in our kind of sector. We when there is someone like that whose project or idea need to be changed or still need to be validated, I always tell them I would never promise advertising or promise help a company grow before I'm 100% sure that they have the fundamentals right. So first, validating that you're bringing value to someone. First, the how and all those questions around what value, how, when, to whom. And third, building the fundamentals that communicate your value, because that's also where a lot of people fail. Having a goal, right, as we talked about, having gold and not being able to let anyone know properly that I have gold, come get gold for free,
Yeah.
or for
Right.
1 ounce of gold for $10. If you cannot communicate this to the world, no one would come to get gold, right?
Right.
So it sounds easy, but it's most of the time that's the hardest part. So when all of those check boxes are checked, our job is very easy. Our job is to get you in front of the right people, which
Right.
is not the hard part. If you know who the right people are, or at least some of them, if you know your way talking about what you do, if you have good fundamentals, if you validated that someone wants what you're building, I will get you in a room with all those people, metaphorically, and you just have to say the words. You just have to say, "Hey, this is what I build. What are you? What do you think? You want to join?" It's either yes or no, but some portion of the people will join. It's that easy, and still most of us fail doing that.
Right. All right. So you've validated the project. You've gone through those 3 steps you just said. All is good. Now, how important is timing and planning in launching a crypto project? And what steps can project creators take to generate a buzz and that excitement before launch? What I assume that's what you guys are really good at and what you're helping them with, right? As far as
Yeah.
pre-launch goes.
So that's a great question, very practical. That's something that everyone needs to hear. So it really depends on sorry, how much impact are you willing to do, or how big of wave you're planning on doing before actually release, either the token, the platform, launching your thing. And so the bigger the impact you want, the bigger the adoption you need, the earlier you should act, right? So I can put it in a time frame, but again, I don't want to kind of mislead anyone. So for some, it might be much more time than you actually need. For some, the other way around. But for example, one of the latest projects that we serve, they planned on having around 20,000 people on their wait list. Waitlist are the people who are showing actual interest in buying in eventually,
Mm-hmm.
or joining into the pre-sale. And they wanted around 20,000 people, aiming that 25% of them, which means 5,000 people, will buy into the pre-sale actually, which is, it's considered a normal estimation, or at least make sense to estimate
Mm-hmm.
this kind of this amount of people. But you also need to have those fundamentals. They started around 3-4 months before the actual launch date, and they did it, right? So you don't need to think in terms of 6 months, 1 year before. Really depends on what you're trying to build and the impact you want to make, but thinking a few months before would do the trick. A lot of companies trying to build 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, they reach out to us and say, "Hey, everything goes well." I'm asking them about like kind of clustering who they are, their needs, the company, doing the kind of the onboarding with them. And then the question I love the most is, okay, what are we talking? What is the next milestone? What is the roadmap? And they're like, we're a bit tight on schedule. When someone says that, you should know there's no way that you can help them, in this, at this point. No, I'm joking, but they had around 2 weeks, between 2 weeks and 3 weeks to launch, and they wanted to plan to the campaign. Of course, they didn't have everything ready. They need to figure out the creatives, sharpening the messaging. Don't do that. That's
Mm-hmm.
my message. Like, don't be this kind of project that plans ahead only like 2-3 weeks before the launch. So you need to build something. You need to build a story. It takes time to build a brand, to build a story around what you're doing, to get people excited about it. The first wave of people that would be engaging, some KOLs that will be onboarded, people from the community, other projects that believe in what you're doing, and share the passion to what you do, and kind of do co-marketing or kind of activities with you. You need to get the story out. Marketing equals story. Of course, the value is important, but why did you come up with this idea from first place? Why do you solve this problem? For example, our data network, just as a short example, No one cares about their data being sold. Sorry for saying that today. Like everyone cares, but no one cares because we have nothing to do about it, right? So we just live with it that everyone knows everything about us. There is no privacy anymore. If any one of the big tech giants want to destroy our lives, they can.
So Israel, you mentioned something about obviously creating the story. So you've got a project, don't leave it too late. Give it some time. If you want a big impact, you need to obviously have a bigger run up, and obviously do a lot more to get the desired outcome, right? So
Yeah.
now, influence have got a bad rap because during a crypto bull market, most of them are just like, I use the word whores, right? They just take your money, post one little tweet, and I don't even know what your name is, right? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And it's not even a quickie, it's a taste, right? And
Yeah.
you feel all dirty, and not that we've done any marketing, I'm just saying. But you feel like you could have just let me with a little hug or something, but that's what it feels like using influencers, right? They just take your money, they just post a little tweet, it has no impact or very little impact. How do you create a successful, affordable, I rephrase that, affordable strategy with an influencer or influencers to kind of get your story out to the right audience? What is your recommendation? There's so much shit out there, all right? How do you choose
Yeah.
the creme without selling a kidney or pawning your kids off for cheap child labor?
I think influencers' reputation is like crypto reputation in some ways. Like some people outside crypto that don't have the experience may think that we're dealing, we're drug dealers only with some kind of money, right? Or doing gambling or doing stuff like that. So it's the same for influencers. A lot of people, a lot of companies that did influencers tried at least, or even some of them that had an opinion without even doing a single campaign, they did the wrong. They either had a bad strategy, and I will elaborate on that right now. Bad strategy with influencers, bad choice of influencers, sometimes bad timing, but I don't like this excuse of having bad timing. So let's talk about these two first aspects. So bad strategy is when I maybe have I have good influencers that can be good advocates to my brand, to what I'm building. It makes sense for them to talk about it. It's not that I'm selling, I don't know, crypto for a sport influencer, right? So niche is kind of correlated, but my strategy, the way that they're going to communicate my brand, doesn't make sense to their audience, right? So when I say strategy, I need to think on the most authentic way, right? This is the key in influencer marketing, being authentic. The most authentic way for the influencer to talk about my project, the way that they're going to talk about my project, or to engage with it. Sometimes it's not only mentioning the project, sometimes it's more than that. So choosing the influencers is another mistake. When people talking about the last bull market, by the way, people chose shillers, not influencers. They chose people who sell anything, sell their daughters, right? For for $10 for a retweet, right? And so those are intentionally created by companies that this is all they do. They're mass creating fake influencers and shillers to get you hyped, right? To get the word out for fake followers most of the time. And so it's a poor choice of influencers. Now there is no playbook for avoiding that 100%, unfortunately.
Sure.
I got scammed. I got scammed after having a company around influencer marketing, after researching influencer marketing 6 years ago, right? For a few years. Anyone can get scammed, but you reduce the chances to get scammed where you actually think as the followers, like the people who are the consumers to those influencers. That's the secret. Think as you are as you follow this influencer. Does that make sense for them, like for you to see them after, I don't know, I play the drums, right? My hobby is drums. I play the drums. I follow a lot of drummers on both Instagram and TikTok. And sometimes I see a drummer that I like promote a snare drum. And it makes sense. It makes sense because it sounds good. It fits their nature of playing, right? And it just fits. And I don't care that they get money, get paid to advertise to me. And again, I'm being here the product. I just love it. Sometimes I even want to buy after seeing their kind of content or kind of playing this instrument, right? And so sometimes, on the other hand, I will see someone aggressively advertise something when it doesn't make sense to me as their follower, right? As their one of their community, because it doesn't match their persona as I see it as the user.
Okay, so you found the right influencers. You've started the campaign. Things are rolling. Your influencer campaign, all the other things you're doing behind the scenes for marketing. Now, how do you measure it? How do you measure the success of that marketing campaign for the NFT project or the crypto launch? What key metrics are you using to evaluate the effectiveness of those efforts?
So it really depends on your conversion definition, let's call it your CPA, right? Your what you define as your KPI or your conversion. So just going technical for one moment, there are new tools in Web3 that you can integrate, like implement an HTML code to your website, like you would do with Facebook or Google or any of those, and then you can track. Of course, if your platform is kind of signing with wallet kind of stuff, or wallet gated, and so you could eventually track the same way that you used to track on Web 2 plus Web3 components. So, whoever this wallet is, what they do. So this is much more powerful than Web 2 tracking, just so you know, because you have the Web 2 side of things, that who they are, their behavior on the website, some heat maps, some kind of basic KPI tracking, like button clicks, I don't know, like a path going in your application or platform. But also you can learn about their wallet activity, which is something you couldn't do, like their net worth, kind of, right? So you can know their net worth, what they do, what they like, what types of projects they follow. For this, you have a few Web3 analytics, I call them, a few tools. In terms of the actual measuring, it's pretty straightforward, as we know from Web 2. So it's really important to define KPIs in advance, and you don't move like right or left, right? So you define, okay, for this campaign, let me give you a practical example again. So for one company, we wanted to onboard their liquid staking solution, right? Meaning they allow people to stake Ethereum, basically, and make profit. And they have a good value proposition of providing the highest yield for stable Ethereum staking that I have ever seen, around 7.5%, 8% sometimes, which is pretty safe, on the safe side. For those of us who do high risk investments, it's nothing, but for some people that's great. I want my 8%, and they wanted to track people to kind of acquire new clients to use their liquid staking, right? And so on the campaign, we decided that we're going to target people who actively, in crypto, of course, actively trading with other platforms of liquid staking on different blockchains, right? And using our tool, we could identify who they are, create a list of wallets, and then transport, or maybe identify the emails, the social handles behind them. That's our technology. This is what we allow, and eventually reach out to them and onboard them. Now, the success of the campaign was predefined by both of us together, like us as a service provider and he as the client, as the company, for only when we are going to see someone not opening a wallet, sorry, but opening an account in the platform and doing their first investment, this would be considered as a conversion. And so we could measure it correctly and then also systemize the payment accordingly.
So, guys, as you can see, web marketing is not as easy as just throwing some money into Google or giving somebody your open checkbook. There has to be some thought behind it. There has to be a strategy. There has to be a story behind your project. You might have the best project that you have created or know of, but to get it out there, unless you have the full package of all of that, which I doubt because you are so focused on certain areas, you need to reach out to certain people that are experts in the field, that can guide, that can shape, that can give you that piece of knowledge that could open up your project to the world and provide the solution for millions. But going it alone is probably a bit risky. So, that's why you can use the services of, Israel and his team for Web3M. So please, guys, look out just below the link over here and, connect with them. Come to him with some good quality questions that can help. Don't just say, sell out my project, because then you're wasting his time, right? But come to him with, what you're trying to create. What is your audience potentially like? And engage in that conversation and hopefully sell out your project. All right, guys, and that concludes our show for today. But before we finish, the most important part of the show, Dad's got jokes. And this is an important part because we know Israel likes telling jokes. No, he's actually very scared. So the simple rules, I don't know if you drink. If you don't drink, you got to give me 100 push-ups. You were in the Israeli army, so it's probably 1,000 push-ups because 100's too easy. We'll drink, right? And then I will drink if we don't win this. So the objective of this joke is not to laugh, to be serious, right? But if it's a good joke, you basically get awarded the nod of approval. The worst joke downs a pint of beer or a bottle of wine or 1,000 push-ups. So, Israel, being the young dad, you are up first with your crypto joke. Good luck. We just have to have a moment of preparation.
Yeah, moment of integrity here. Okay, guys, so I want to tell you something. Lately, I've been thinking of going on an all-almond diet. But that's just nuts.
Okay. Not bad.
That's a good one. Come on, you were worried about it. That's a good one.
I think we were thinking alike because my joke is similar. So I'll go next. All right.
All right.
So where do you learn to make ice cream, Israel?
Where?
Sunday school. No, nothing. Shit. It's fine. I'll just drink beer. Ryan, no pressure.
Did you guys hear about the kidnapping at the school? It's okay. He woke up.
I like this one.
Sure. Ryan, I think you have taken it today. Well done. You get 1,000 Dad's Gone Crypto points.
Yes, excellent.
Should I record myself with 1,000 push-ups? Or
yeah, there you go. Put that out there.
Yes, please. That'll definitely go viral for us. So
might
one
take
Dad's,
a while, though.
Yeah, right.
We want you to say one Dad's Gone Crypto push-up. 2 Dad's Gone Crypto push-up.
Oh man!
Like at school where you do something bad, right? And they let you write 1,000 times, I did something bad. I won't do it again.
It'll be like the Mr. Beast video with PewDiePie. So we're just thinking of viral content here, of course.
Right.
That's all that matters. Just so you know, everyone, nothing matters in this conversation more than do content.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. So do you have any other closing thoughts for us there, Israel?
Actually, one thing I wanted to say, and I managed to kind of slick this in, was the thing with content. So yeah, I didn't say it on the strategy. So thinking, building your brand, doing organic stuff, which is a crucial part, other than doing paid efforts. Create content around what you do, around what you like. For that, you have a lot of tools and service providers as well. So there's no excuse to not do it. And one last thing is important as an entrepreneur, as if you build the company, or if you're part of the leading team, or if you do the marketing and growth, get to know people from the industry. This is the most valuable tip as an entrepreneur. The more I get to know other entrepreneurs and founders and CMOs and COOs, and every C-level exists, I learn about their journey. The more I learn about their journey, I have more value to contribute to others, because I have more use cases given to me by real people building real stuff, rather than me sitting on the office assuming and guessing what people need or don't need. Mm-hmm. So get to know people in the space, online events, there's cold reach people, real life events. Of course, it's a must. But just get to know people, learn about projects. Just go ahead to companies' websites, to products' websites in the Web3 and crypto. Learn about what they do. Challenge yourself with something more technical, than you could digest. Kind of dig in. That's my kind of entrepreneur 1%.
And that's kind of what Web3M is all about, right? Because you're trying to build this network of lots of companies all trying to market together. If I'm
exactly. So trying to be, I wouldn't say like kind of the middleman or the one who built this spider web of companies in the space that share the same agenda. So getting to know as much companies as we can as a company and help out. Providing the 51% value is also something I learned from Gary Vee. So being the one who gives first, right? Who gives something, even if it's for free. I'm not talking about sell you something, because this is, it doesn't count most of the times. But providing value, learning about projects. The more I learn about projects, the smarter I get. The smarter I get, the better my product would be. The higher chances it would sell. The higher chances I would be happy and continue to the next thing in my journey.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Israel, thank you very much. We're running out of time here, but we appreciate your insight into the industry. We'd love to have you back on the show to probe you with some more questions in specific fields and in specific areas. And thank you very much for your time and sharing with our community.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Israel.
Awesome.
It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you guys.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.